Greetings, Bat Family, and welcome to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. You can find Holy BatCast all over social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast and you will find us. We are on Patreon, if you want to do that. If you want to support us that way, you can. You don't have to. It's all good. We love you no matter what. But if you want to do that, you can go to patreon.com/HolyBatCast. And as always, got to give a big old shout out and a big old long distance hug to all our patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting us and for keeping the show that much easier to keep running. We appreciate you. We're part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out those shows at rf4rm.com. And as always, I'm your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd. It's always just my name, Andy DiGenova. Now, we tempted fate on the last episode, and boom, guess what? We've seen Superman. We knew it was coming. We didn't know when, and now it has happened. We have seen David Corenswet in the first official photo of him in the Superman suit. So, of course, we got to talk about it. It's probably not going to be a full length. Well, God, I hope it's not a 2-hour episode. I ain't got time tonight. But we got to talk about it. Got to do it as quickly as we can. And joining me for that is someone, you know him, you love him. I'm glad that he made the time because, you know, he pops in and out, but I want to hear his thoughts. It's Jamie Drewley. Hi, Jamie.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Superman suit delayed release episode day. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was Super Monday, but I was unavailable last night. So guess what? It's going to be Super Tuesday, and by the time people are listening, probably Super Wednesday.
Fair enough.
It's
fine. If you and Gerber weren't so impatient, you could have just covered it.
We didn't know. James Gunn didn't give us the heads up. How dare he?
You two are like all kinds of fonts of inside information, and you didn't know this was coming.
I know. I'm a little offended, and I'm sure Sean is too. But oh well. I also should mention that next week you might be listening to an episode of me and Brendan where we talk as if we haven't seen the Superman suit. So you're just going to have to roll with that because I had to record some episodes in advance because I am going to be doing a lot of traveling over the next few weeks. So I got a couple in the can ready to go. And of course, the one of me and Brendan are like, well, as soon as I get on that cruise, they're going to release the Superman suit. Nope. James Gunn cut me off at the pass and it's already out there. So y'all, just roll with it. I appreciate that. Before we get to Superman, though, of course, I've got to give a shout out to our pals over at Manscaped at manscaped.com. They have the very best grooming products for you or your loved ones. Anything that you need to up your grooming game, Manscaped's got you covered. The Performance Package 5.0 is the best of the best. It's the sampler platter. You just want to try a little bit of everything, you can do that. It's great. That's how I started, and I kind of went from there. If you don't want to do that, that's okay, too. You can look and see if anything strikes your fancy. The trimmer's amazing. The handyman face shaver, amazing. The deodorant, the cologne, the nail trimmers, all that stuff is great. Whatever you're going to buy, though, please use the promo code BATSCAPED to get 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped has been very, very supportive and awesome with us. And I know that everybody out there who has purchased their Manscaped products has also been very happy and very satisfied. So everybody wins. Go to manscaped.com, up your grooming game just in time for summer. I do think summer is officially here because this morning Starbucks had the summer menu, which is exciting. So summer's here. Up your grooming game. Go to manscaped.com. If you are going to make a purchase, again, no pressure. It's all good. But if something looks good to you and you've been meaning to do it, now is a great time. Just use that promo code BATSCAPED to get your 20% off and your free shipping. We would appreciate that. That way, Manscaped gets your business, you get amazing products, and you're supporting Holy BatCast as you do so. So everybody wins. We love it. So go to manscaped.com, and again, that promo code is BATSCAPED. And as always, a big old thank you to all those of you who've already done it. I know you've been happy. I love it. And thank you to everybody who's done that. That's really, really great, and it really helps us out. So thank you. And check out manscaped.com. Now, Jamie,
they give friendly reminders about Manscaped when, hey, you might need to restock some of your product, but apparently they don't pay attention to how much I ordered last time, because if they did, I would not get that message for at least another 18 months.
True. I'm due for a reorder myself, and I just got to do that this week. I'll get around to it.
I bought like $600 worth of stuff for me and my son from there the last time. So
Whoa. I
yeah,
love it.
man.
Impressive.
And let me just tell you, the order I made before that, just because I like telling happy stories about our sponsor, uh, they made a little bit of a boo boo and didn't send all the items that were ordered. And I contacted their customer service, the online chat thing, and let them know. And 2 days later, I had more than I was supposed to get from them. So
Oh, that's good to
big
hear.
shout out for good customer service there.
That's great. I love to hear that. Well, very cool. Thank you, Jamie, and thank you to Manscaped. But now I'm feeling super. Are you feeling super, Jamie?
I am.
I'm feeling pretty super. So yeah, yesterday, Monday, James Gunn did drop the official first photo of David Corenswet in the Superman suit. I don't even have to describe it to y'all because I know you saw it because it was everywhere. In fact, when we got home from work, I asked Catherine, I'm like, so did you see the Superman photo? And she goes, how could I miss it? It was everywhere. Everyone was sharing it. Everyone was posting it. So regardless of how you feel about the photo, I got to say it did its job. Everyone was talking about the photo. So the buzz is there and
For
the
better or
interest is
worse.
there. Yeah. And the interest is there, which is very, very good news. But the photo is of David Corenswet in the suit, in a chair. It looks like he's suiting up, getting ready to go stop some trouble because out the window is a big purple beam of light. So something's going down, and it looks like a job for Superman.
I have to know what that is happening outside. I can't stand these little teases like this because now for the next 15-ish months, I'm going to be just sitting around going, I wonder what that is, or at least until I see a trailer with it in it.
Right.
Which again, I guess that's doing what it's supposed to do. It's piqued my interest. But
Yep, indeed it is. So people are talking about it and it is out there. I do wonder if this means over the next week or two, we're going to start seeing spy pics surface. Are they going to start shooting outdoors? Always
that feels
possible.
like a pretty solid guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So this might be our first look at the suit, but it might not be our last very soon. We might be getting more. But regardless, it's out there and it was everywhere. So Jamie, how you feeling about this first look at our new Superman?
I'm going to say the same thing I said to you and to the Real Fans group, and that was pretty much it. This looks like Superman to me. Is everything exactly the way that I would have done it if I were in charge of the DC universe? No. But the only real nitpick I have about it is I'm not wild about the collar. But past that, I mean, red boots, blue suit, red and yellow S. He's got the red trunks on, which thank God for that because I'm a big proponent of trunks on the outside. Got a red cape, got a spit curl. This looks like Superman to me. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what it looks like in action. I'm seeing better shots, him standing and poses and whatnot. Yeah, I'm in. I like it.
Excellent. Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but on that episode with Sean Gerber, I made a pretty bold prediction and guessed that the Superman suit was going to be blue with a red cape and the Superman emblem. And guys, nailed it.
You just hit that one out of the park, man.
I'll tell y'all, I hate to brag, but sometimes you gotta. It's exactly what I said it was going to be. Red boots, the whole nine. It's great. All joking aside, it's exactly, yeah, it's what we said. Me and Sean, joked about of like, we pretty much know what it's going to be, but the devil's in the details. And I think all of that is true. It's kind of what we expected, but yeah, there are some little details here and there that your mileage may vary. Personally, I like it. It looks, as you said, like Superman. It looks like a Superman suit. There are just enough details to make it different, to set itself apart from previous incarnations, and I am fine with those. I don't feel that strongly one way or the other, honestly. Like, some of like the detailing on the arms and everything, or even the collar, I'm like, yeah, sure, but it is unmistakably Superman. I don't think it's necessarily better or worse than the past couple cinematic Superman costumes we have seen. I've liked those too. And this, I'm like, yeah, you see that? It's Superman. And I like the spit curl. I'm old school like that. I've seen obviously the comments like you said, and many other folks have like, yep, the trunks do appear to be there. I've always been I don't feel strongly one way or the other, so it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, I'm good with that too. But I like the suit. And what's funny is I've seen some comments of being like, well, yeah, it kind of looks like like it came out of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like, well, yeah, like wouldn't you kind of expect that? Because I'm pretty sure that James Gunn brought the same costume designer with him when he came over to do Superman, and is that a bad thing? Because I thought all the costumes in Guardians were really good too, so it didn't. I didn't know if that was considered a good or a bad thing, but yeah, that's Superman, sure enough.
Well, I mean, let me just address this because I don't want to end on the sour note, but I've made the mistake of reading some of the comment sections from the official DC post on Facebook, and even some of the comments that are floating around the Real Fans group. And I'm not saying people shouldn't have opinions, but some of the shit that people are losing their minds over with this picture, you have got to be freaking kidding me. That event going on outside, and he's just sitting down and casually putting on his boots to go to work. That's ridiculous. Or, padding in the suit, or the S is shaped wrong, or, just whatever, guys. Just, I don't know. I just don't get why people just want to be mad about something.
I've been a little perplexed by the because I've seen quite a bit of it of people being like, shit's going down outside and he's just casually putting on his suit. It's like, should his face look like he is freaking out? Would that have been a better picture? Or should he look nervous? Like how should he look? Should he be smiling? That doesn't make sense either. I said at the beginning, but the caption of this photo should be, "This looks like a job for Superman." That's what it is. Something's about to happen and he's ready to go out and take care of it. And so I think there's a little bit of overthinking going on. I think it's a very fun and kind of cheeky picture, which makes sense considering James Gunn of like, James Gunn didn't want to do just a traditional kind of cliche, hands on his hips and standing there with the cape blowing in the wind. He wanted to do something kind of fun. And the idea of it's like, oh, something's going on and time to suit up. It's time to go to work. And I thought that was fun. And I don't think it's anything more than that other than it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, context again, seeing a trailer or something that's going to maybe give us more indication here, or maybe we'll even have to wait until, God forbid, watching the movie before we know.
Yeah. So
just lose your stuff over one single solitary still photo out of context. I don't get it. I don't.
I mean, again, it shows the interest in the film. It shows the interest in the new Superman. I do think, it's like, it's Superman, guys. It's a fun photo. That's really all there is to it at this point. And we're going to see more of it. And yes, we will get the classic Superman, heroic pose, but for doing something a little different for the reveal, again, to me, it just makes sense knowing James Gunn's sensibilities. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's fun. That's unexpected. And I think that's all he was going for.
Yeah.
I can do my nitpick though, because here's the thing. I like the picture. I like the suit. I do. Do I think it's the best Superman picture I've ever seen? No. Do I think it's perfect? No. But I think it's good, and that's okay. But my little nitpick is it already looks battle damaged.
Yes.
Like on his left shoulder and into the emblem, it looks like he's already been through some stuff. He's already been out there fighting God knows what. For the first photo, I would have liked it to be like pristine, totally clean, and then we could have seen the damaged version later. So for me, because I've seen also a little bit of like, oh, I thought the colors would be brighter based on things that Gunn had said. And I'm like, well, I think that they are, because if you look at the legs and the boots, they are bright. It's a nice bright blue and it's a nice bright red, but his chest does not look as bright because it looks charred. And yes, for the first photo, I would have done, just a pristine look at the suit. And then we could see, again, it get beat up later, but it's a relatively minor nitpick because, again, looks like Superman.
Well, it might give you an indicator that Superman's going to punch something, and we know how much you hate it when superheroes don't punch things. So,
darn tootin'. Get in there. I mean, I also love watching Superman lift big rocks. It's amazing. I would love a whole movie of just lifting rocks and boats. And oh wait, no, I got one. I got one of those. I'm good. I'm good. I'm cool. So yeah, I would love to see Superman fight some super stuff. Um, so yeah, no, I again, I like it. He looks unmistakably like Superman. He looks good, and I can't wait to see more. But as for the suit, again, I like it. As we said, like there's, the emblem is certainly inspired by Kingdom Come. We know that. James Gunn revealed that. The suit itself is very much in the vein of New 52, which I always thought was fine too, except doing the trunks instead of the red belt. It works for me. It's detailed enough with some of the lines and some of the texture on the suit itself, without it looking just, a little too plain, but also unique enough to this version. So for me, I dig it. I'm down. Bring it on. Can't wait to see more. For the reveal, it works.
No, I think we're pretty much on the same page here. I mean, as you said, this is probably not my first choice of what I would have done, but adversely, I don't see anything I find offensive, and I'm just super pissed off that that's what we're going to get.
Yeah,
nothing gives
right,
me
right.
any of those super strong feelings. Like, I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it. I like it. I'm with you. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. As far as a reveal photo, I'm going 7 out of 10. Solid, good. I'm into it. Not my favorite of all time, but it works.
Yeah, 7. 7's good.
7. I'd want to say 6, but that feels too low. So in this case, 6 is not good. 7 is good.
I'm with 7. I'm down with that.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. But
anyway, I'm sure the world has picked this apart to death already, and I haven't gotten involved with many of the discussions other than the 5 minutes that I decided to torture myself by reading comment sections. But I just would like to point out for anybody, for the 2 people who haven't thought about it yet, that orb outside is the colors of Lex's power suit traditionally, the purple and green.
You mentioned that to me, before we recorded, and that is true. I would not be shocked. I mean, again, I think me and Sean talked about that. As I'm like, what, over under, I'm going to say we will see the power suit, because I could see Gunn being into that. So
it's due. I was screaming that in my car listening to you guys this morning. It's due.
I agree. So you're right. It could be that. It could be a hint of Brainiac, or it could just be a beam of energy that looks cool in the photo.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know until later.
Right.
But, indeed, the gears are turning here. I'm thinking. That was the very first thing I thought to myself when I zoomed up on the pictures. That's purple and green. Why is that purple and green? Lex's power suit's purple and green. So, anyway. Yeah. I'm not above speculating any more than anybody else. I'm just not doing it with an angry tone.
No, I again, yeah, and I'm down with that. I think that works. So, yeah, I don't know what else there is to say, because like you said, like folks have picked it to death and really dissected it, and I looked at it and I was like, cool, great, that works, and and I'm good with that. Call me an easy lay, call me easy to please, but I like it.
That's all that matters.
And I look forward to more. So I'm glad that we got it out of the way before I did leave town. So, hey, one less thing that could be revealed when I'm out of town, unless hopefully I'm on the cruise. Then they will release a photo of Nicholas Hoult in a power suit, and it'll give us something to talk about when I'm back.
Screw that. I'm going straight for the trailer.
Okay, great. Well, we see eye to eye on the Superman suit, the photo, the reveal. It works enough for me, and again, I look forward to seeing more.
Indeed.
Cool. Well, there you go. That was easy. But as long as I got you here, do you want to clean out a couple emails?
Yes, let's.
Yeah,
I still got like 3/4 of a beer left here, so yeah.
Great. So I'm like, I got a minute, and we hit record, so we might as well. Anything I can do to clean out the mailbox always makes me feel good. All right. Oh, wait. I guess I should do the intro, shouldn't I? I should make it like a real episode, even though it's not necessarily a real episode, but it kind of
No,
is.
it's a real episode. How dare
It
you?
is. It's just a little one, just a little bitty one. Low commitment. All right, here we go. Then here we go. We're gonna check in with you, fine feathered finks. And guess what? This first one, I'm gonna tell you something, is a fine feathered fink. Just wait till you see. It's the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Derek. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
So the first fink who wrote in, Joe Fornerado.
Oh, Joe.
Joe Forner, he is. So he says, "What's up, guys? I loved the latest episode with Sean Gerber about the DC slate. It made me think about the fact that it's been over a year since we got the slate announcement. Looking back, do you think it was worth it to make that huge announcement if we weren't going to really get too much movement outside of Superman and or Creature Commandos, with the latter not coming with any big news for the most part, and it probably would have been easy to keep under wraps? Or do you think it was smart to get ahead of the rumors that would have been circulating during the release of the leftover Snyderverse films last year? Obviously, at the time, I was all about it, and I'm still excited. It's just hard to deny the negative impact it had on the 4 DC films last year. They could have waited until January of this year to make the announcement, or even at the bare minimum, waited till after The Flash. Again, I'm not trying to be a Monday morning quarterback here, because obviously hindsight is 2020, and the strikes last year affected all of this as well. I just thought it would be an interesting topic to hear you guys discuss. Thanks as always for the content. Keep up the great work. Joe Fornerado, from that trademarked thing that we're not allowed to say out loud." That's correct. That's correct, Joe. Thanks for writing in, Joe. And very interesting take, an interesting point. Jamie, what do you think? Do you think they should have held off on announcing the slate because it kneecapped all the movies last year?
I really don't know how much effect that really had on box office or crowd reactions or anything like that to those movies. I just, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know enough about the inside workings of that sort of thing to get in depth on it. All I can tell you is, just to kind of sidetrack a little bit, sorry, Joe, but you guys were talking about, the things that were mentioned, and, we haven't heard movement on this, and Titans kind of came up out of nowhere. And he did say when he announced those initial things that this was only about half of what he had in mind for the first phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we don't know what those other things were because he didn't, come out and put them on that announcement. But that doesn't mean that Titans wasn't there or any of the other ones. But obviously we've had movement on Supergirl, as you guys talked about. We had Superman and Creature Commandos were going to be first out of the gates for, the series and the movies respectively. And, with you guys, I would like to see a little bit more activity on Brave and the Bold, because that's obviously the one I'm most anticipating at this point. But, I like the way Gunn has handled things so far. So I'm just going to kind of leave it up to him to let me know when he's ready. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. It's such an interesting point, Joe. And I think you have a valid point. It's tough. It's going to be kind of a non-answer of like, I see it both ways. Because you're right. Announcing the entire slate before they released 4 movies last year, I think it did play a part into those 4 movies' performance or lack thereof, because people knew the DC universe was getting rebooted. They knew it, and they knew that it was a whole new universe. They knew that there was a whole new plan. But if you look at the other side of it, the other option is they would have at least had to announce Superman, because Superman was going to get casting. It was going to go to production. So you at least had to announce that. So it would have been tricky to then announce and go, well, we're doing a new Superman movie. That's a reboot. Anything else, you're going to have to wait and see, because then there's still just that question mark around the 4 films that got released last year. So it's tricky. But yeah, they announced an entire slate somewhat prematurely, because it's been a year and a half, not quite a year and a half, over a year. And there hasn't been movement on a lot of it. So I don't know, I feel like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And so in that respect, I guess I appreciate that they just put it all out on the table. And that's one thing that Gunn has really done, is he's just kind of showing his cards. He's very upfront. He's very honest. He shoots down rumors. He tells you, he tries to be as upfront as he can be or wants to be. And so I guess I appreciate that about the slate, but yeah, did it hurt all the movies last year? Yeah, it was a factor, and it wasn't the only factor, but it was a factor. Absolutely. There you go. Was that a good enough non-answer?
Worked for me.
Okay, great. Next email here is from Connor Michelini, maybe. It says, a longtime listener, first time emailer. I saw a meme about the suit reveal for the new Superman, and it got me thinking. What are some of your favorite memes based on DC movies? This is the one I enjoyed of Superman in a Footlocker. And I have seen this one. It's the shot of him putting on his boots, but they dropped in a shot of like a Payless or a Footlocker behind him of just shoes. Mm-hmm. I think that's hilarious. I like it. There've been quite a few that I've enjoyed with the Superman reveal. And again, it's kind of one of those things where even though everybody's not in love with it, and again, that's totally fair. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's cool. Even though not everyone loves it, I've seen a lot of people who do love it, but people are talking about it, which is still a good thing. And the memes only help with that. So I like the one of Superman at Payless here. I think it's pretty funny.
That's actually the only one I've seen. So apparently I might have to snoop around for some of those.
Yeah, there's a couple. Someone shared like a whole bunch of them. Anyway, any other DC memes that come to mind?
I mean, silly little cartoon ones where, Batman's riding on Superman's shoulders and looking all grim and dark, and Superman's like rolling his eyes, goofy little things like that. But like no, like superimposed with reveal photos or anything like that really pop into my head.
Yeah. I'm taking us back, but I'm thinking of one that I posted back in the summer of 2013. And it was an image of Henry Cavill's Superman flying. And then it was also an image of Christian Bale looking up, smiling. And it was said something like, Daddy has returned or something like that. And I was like, oh, it was a simpler time. I was so excited. I remember that.
There is one that this would have been probably spring of 2012 sometime.
Okay.
Maybe getting close to summer. I don't know. But you know how they had all the Dark Knight Rises posters that just had like a character image and it said Rise on it?
Yeah.
This was like Batman like going into action with the cowl up, but to his left, he was like pushing Spider-Man out of the way, and the letters that normally said Rise, it said Move.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
I was a big fan of that one back in the day.
That was a good one. So yeah, that was a good call. There was another one. Oh, it's one that I hate, but I want to mention it anyway. It's a meme that every once in a while makes the rounds, and I hate it. And it's the meme of Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. And it says, she wants to save the earth and he wants to cool the earth, and we're supposed to root for the trust fund billionaire. And I'm like, this is the stupidest meme in the world, because in order to achieve their goals, they both want to kill millions of people. So this meme is stupid and I hate it.
That's okay.
But anyway, so I also, again, go back to 2013. I remember posting the one of Superman knocking Iron Man out of the sky.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh, and I still to this day use the sad Affleck meme.
Oh, the sad Affleck is many, many places.
It's a good one.
I feel like that one is one of those that just went into reserve and never went away.
Well, I also love when like someone like will go off on like a whole long explanation or a long, a big long paragraph of whatever. And I'll just respond with the Affleck. I agree.
Yeah. Well, the one that you're talking about where he's like looking semi-dejected, like standing outside smoking a cigarette or something, just wearing the t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one I'm thinking of. So clearly we're thinking of a different one.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the one where he's sitting next to Cavill, and Cavill is like,
okay.
And Cavill's talking and explaining, and he just looks so sad because this was after, the movie had come out and it was receiving all this, this hate and everything. And so like, but they're still on the press tour, and like Cavill's still like, he's being the good soldier, and you could tell Affleck is just like,
He's over it.
Yeah.
But the one I'm talking about where he's smoking the cigarette with his eyes a little closed, and he's like, kind of got his jaw clenched a little bit. That thing has so much life that to this day it's still used in the football group that I co-admin.
Yeah.
When somebody says something stupid, inevitably you can bet somebody's going to drop that meme into the thread.
Right. I just want to say this because we're talking about the history of the characters. We're talking about Ben Affleck. We're talking about Henry Cavill. I just want to say this real quick. I just want to put it on record. Being excited for the new Superman and liking the look of David Corenswet as Superman doesn't mean I can't love Henry Cavill as Superman. Just want to say
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Or Brandon Routh.
Or Brandon Routh.
Or George Reeves. Or Dean Cain. Or Taylor Heckner.
Yes,
I did that on purpose.
Hecklin. That's it. Oh. but yes, you don't have you can have more than one. That's the
Tom
Welling. I like or love pretty much everyone I just mentioned to you. So I mean, there's room in my heart for more. I've got plenty. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, so one more email here from Ben Llewellyn. It says, "Hey, I haven't written you since your 10-year anniversary, so let me say congratulations. I'm so thankful to have Andy, Jamie, the Cuddly Koala, and the other Rogues Gallery. I think I speak for many listeners of the show. Podcasting is such a strange medium because it feels like being friends with someone you've never met. I know this is just a Batman podcast. However, it really does allow listeners like myself a positive outlet for their DC fandom that may be missing otherwise. It's well worth the Patreon support, and I admonish all who appreciate your show to sign up to support it with a few dollars. You won't regret it. Now, in order to get my question, I'll always have love in my heart for the Snyderverse. However, I am excited. Oh, I did not know this was coming. That is timely. He said, I'm also very excited for the James Gunn DC universe. Same, Ben, same. And that was the point I was making. It's like, just because I'm excited for what's to come doesn't mean I don't love what came before. He says, the longer I sit, the more I'm convinced that Gunn is the person who can get DC the praise that Marvel garnered in its first 10 years. The care that he puts into lower tier characters is so refreshing. And that's something I found with Justice League Unlimited. I would have never known about Hawk and Dove had that show not devoted some time to these more obscure characters that could have been considered relics at the time, but are now enjoying some love. My question is, what lower tier characters do you hope that James Gunn uses on screen, and what's the best way to use them? As an ensemble, solo, cameo, or an origin? Is there a particular storyline that should be adapted in order to highlight what makes them awesome? Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. That's a good question. I think that your point is well, first of all, thank you for the kind words about the podcast, as always. I hope you know that really does mean a lot, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you for saying that. But that is one of the things that's fun about James Gunn, is that he wants to celebrate Superman, and he wants to celebrate Polka Dot Man, and he wants to celebrate everyone in between. And that's fun. Like, you can tell he's a fan because of that. He's the one who's like, I'm putting Vigilante in my show, in my Peacemaker show. And it's like, hell yeah, Vigilante. Haven't thought about him in a minute. So yes, he has fun with some of the more obscure characters. So the question, Jamie, are there some DC obscure characters that you would love to see James Gunn put on screen?
I don't know how obscure they are, but there are definitely some ones that are not like part of the big roundtable crew of Justice League or anything that I would like to see get some overdue time on a screen. I mean, we've gotten in animation. I think we've gotten several interpretations of the ones I'm going to say, but first and foremost, Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz.
Oh, okay.
Because I love Jessica Cruz, and I think Baz and her play off each other extremely well as the buddy cop scenario for the Green Lantern Corps, what have you. So hopefully, at least in like the Lantern series or some sort of cinematic event or something, can get them, not just a cameo. I'd like to see them involved in something. If John and Hal are out doing investigating, as you guys were talking about, and I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. I don't want that just like an Earthbound investigative story. I want galactic scale stuff. But anyway, I would like to see them get involved. Like maybe they could call them in for some help with a scene or run into them and, in the sector or someplace. Just something in there. The other one I would really like to see is someone like Zatanna.
That's a great call.
Because there's so much potential for what you could do with her on a screen. And she's a really good, cool, complex character. So, I think you could almost devote an entire movie to her or series or anything. And, Justice League Dark would be great. But, I would like something focused on her because I think she's overdue for some spotlight.
Yeah, that's a great call, actually. And and now that you mention it, and especially Justice League Dark, which I do love Justice League Dark. I love those characters. I love that world. I feel like James Gunn posted a picture of Deadman recently. And we haven't even mentioned it on the podcast because it was one of those things that sort of came and went in between episodes. And I sort of forgot about it. But now that you mentioned it, I was like, wait, I think he posted something for Deadman. And so that's a perfect example of a kind of obscure DC character that I could see James Gunn totally being into.
The one that I actually think fits Gunn's sensibilities the most would be like Detective Chimp.
Yeah.
Which you could technically count him in with Justice League Dark because he's been part of the roster.
Most recently, for sure. But the correct answer, Jamie.
Well, I know what you're going to say. That's why I didn't.
It's the correct answer. Blue Devil. Blue Devil. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. James Gunn feels like a guy who would appreciate Blue Devil. The time has come, James Gunn. I know you're listening. And so please make a brother happy. Put Blue Devil in a movie. He doesn't have to have his own movie. Give him a cameo. Introduce him. He can be in a team later. He can be in Justice League Dark. But it's time. It's time for Blue Devil. Aside from that, Tim Drake, hello. Maybe that's too obvious. Like me and Sean just said, Mr. Freeze, ready for that. He's not that he's obscure, but time to get Mr. Freeze back on the big screen. Obscure. Here's an obscure one. How about Fire and Ice?
No, that is. God, wow.
They're fun.
Deep for that. You're going to throw some Bloodwind in there too while you're at it?
You know what? Why the hell not? Let's do it. So, and then Aqualad.
Yeah.
Either version or both versions. I love Aquaman. I think James Wan would have gotten to Aqualad, but now we know, it's going to be 2 and done, and that's fine. I can live with that. But yeah, I think once it's time to reintroduce Aquaman, give me a Garth or a Calder or a both.
I'm all for both.
Yeah. Both?
If I have to pick one or the other, I'd rather have Calder, though.
Yeah. So
you can blame Young Justice for that.
Agreed. Agreed. I remember when Young Justice started, I was like, that's Aqualad. And then he was awesome. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in. All right. So there you go. There's some obscure characters that we would love to see James Gunn put on the big screen. So that's it. We're closing the Wayne Manor mailbox again. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to Holy BatCast at rf4rm.com. And as I told you at the beginning, the next couple episodes have been pre-recorded. So if you send in an email and you don't hear about it for a couple episodes, doesn't mean I'm ignoring you, and doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means that I will get to it in time when we record the next episode, which will be a few weeks from now, unless they drop another freaking bomb on us, and then we'll do this again. So send those emails to holybatcast at rf4rm.com. But that's it for now. This is it for our little mini episode, Jamie. Thanks for joining. Thanks for talking Superman and helping me clean out the mailbox again.
Man, it's unusual to be done with a podcast on a weekday and there's still daylight outside. That's
I got to eat dinner. I got to give Harley a bath. I got things to do. Got grown-up responsibilities.
Oh, that grown-up crap.
I know. So anyway, thanks for joining. Where else can we find you these days?
On this show, on the Real Fans show, the Real Fans groups on Facebook. I did sign up for Instagram. I'm not sure what I think of it yet, so don't anybody come rushing at me on there just yet, because I don't know if I'm going to stick around, but I'm kind of toying around with things and watching ridiculous videos about guys going down to pick up the Cougars at the pickleball court because my wife plays pickleball and I think it's funny. But that's pretty much it. Oh, Letterboxd. Don't forget Letterboxd.
Heck yeah. Me and Brendan were like, what? Oh, Jamie on Instagram? What's going on here? But It's another low drama one. My issue with Instagram though is I swear I get 50% ads and 50% people I want to see. Or not ads, sponsored posts.
Yeah.
So whatever. Capitalism. What are you going to do? All right. Well, I already told you guys where to find me. Thank you as always for joining us and for downloading or streaming the show. Please do follow or subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Something else that you can do to support us that doesn't cost a penny is just leave a nice review. That would be awesome. A nice review goes a long way and we would love it. Again, you can find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. And the email address for the Wayne Manor mailbox, again, is holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Our theme music was created by the talented Gaurav Venkateswar. You can find his work at gvtunes.com. And don't forget to check out our sponsors over at manscaped.com. Just if you're going to make a purchase, just use that promo code BATSCAPED and get 20% off and free shipping. But that will do it for this super little episode. On behalf of Jamie, I've been Andy. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
Man, I really don't know what to do with all my time now.
I know. You can go get your Manscaped and clip your nails, give yourself a little mani-pedi. I don't know. The whole evening is yours to do with as you please.
All right. That sounds like a plan.